Okay, in the previous video I showed you how to do a pivot table for the business cycle, and I showed you but what is a calculated column. And now in this video I'm going to show you what is a calculated field and what is the benefit of using calculated fields in PowerPivot. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the PowerPivot. I'm going to go to manage. Then here what I'm going to do is, if you remember, in our details I have a calculated column for the subtotal. Okay, then I'm going to create a calculated field that is going to do the same as this calculated column, but I'm going to be using a calculated field to compute this subtotal. Okay, and how do you do so? What I have to do is I gotta go back to the data, to the Excel file. Then here I'm going to click calculated fields, and here is where I define, where I create calculated fields. I'm going to do new calculated field, and here is I'm going to define where do I want to put a calculated field. In this case I can put a calculated field in any table of the database, but try to pick a table that is more related to the computations you're going to be doing. In this case I'm going to be doing computations about the subtotal. Then it's something related to our details. Okay, and then here I'm going to put a name. I'm going to put it, instead of subtotal, I'm going to call it total sales. Total sales. Okay, well, instead of total I'm going to put just sales. Why? I'm going to explain you why. Okay, then here you can type a description if you want. If not, just keep it empty. Then here is where you type a specific formula for this calculated field. In this case it's going to be a very simple formula. It's going to be a sum. Just type the word sum. At the moment you are writing, then you can see the different formulas that you can select. But I'm going to type sum. Okay, then this one. Then I'm going to open a parenthesis. No, that is open. Then here I can start typing what do I want to sum. Then here I gotta specify first the name of the table. If I start typing the name of the table, order, it has an S, order, no, without an S, order details. Then here I can start looking at the specific calculated column that I need. Is this one is subtotal. Subtotal is a calculated column, right? But I'm gonna do a sum of it. Okay, then here I'm gonna click it, double click it, and then I'm gonna close the parentheses. Okay, then here I'm gonna select the type, that is a currency, and how many decimals? 2 decimals. Then I'm gonna click OK. Then at this moment I created a calculated field, a calculated field, and here I can go back here. I can type manage calculated fields, and now I have one calculated field in my database. I can edit it, and I can see the same thing. Okay, then what is that about? What happened in my database? If I go back to manage, then what is that one? Here, if you see, we selected to put that calculated field in this table in the details. Then where is the calculated field? It is not a column. Okay, then where it is here down. It says sales, and it says the formula is going to equal to sum of the order details subtotal. Then here, this is a calculated field. Right now is put it in this table, and it is just summing all the subtotal rows of this table, all of them. Then what is this amount? Basically is the total amount of sales of all the orders in all the years that I have in this database. Okay, it's more than $1 million. Okay, now how this calculated field can change? Okay, it can change. It depends where I'm going to be using it. It depends on the context. Okay, and where I'm going to be using it in different pivot tables, basically. let's do an example. Okay, I'm gonna do a pivot table. I'm gonna click here, pivot table. Then I'm gonna click pivot table. I'm gonna click a new pivot table. And now let's see that we want to do something related with the employee. Okay, then I'm gonna put the first name of the employee as a row, and now I'm gonna select the calculated field that I just computed, that is in our details, that is called sales. Okay, then I'm gonna just drag this one to values, and now this calculated field, then it compute the sum of the subtotal by employee. Okay, then it depends on the context on the pivot table you place the calculated field, is how this calculated field is going to be created. Okay, let's see an example. Instead of selecting employees, what if I go back to this one, and if I just say, okay, I want to check the sales by product. Okay, and I can go to products, for example, to products. I want to see how much money I have received in sales by product, and I can put product name. Then the calculated field changes immediately, okay, to the specific sum of sales by a specific product. And here, if you see, there is no sum, there is no nothing, because that is already defined in the calculated field. Okay, I do not have to do a sum or whatever. Actually cannot do that here, because that is a calculated field, is not a calculated column. Okay, if this is a calculated column or an attribute of the table, then I can do sum, average, maximum, etc. Okay, then I hope that you understand a little bit more about what is a calculated field and what is the difference between a calculated field and a calculated column. With all further exercises, we're gonna better understand why these calculated fields are very powerful to do data manipulation in Excel, in PowerPivot. Okay. Before I finish, I want to show you something else. I'm gonna go back to the manage. Then I'm gonna show you something interesting. I'm gonna do a calculated column that has a very interesting way that is not normally is a powerful operation that is hard to do in pure Excel. For example, I'm gonna do a calculated I'm gonna go to orders. In orders, I do not have the subtotal by order. I have the subtotal by product order here, but if I go to orders, I do not have the information of the subtotal. Then I'm gonna create a calculated column that is gonna give me the sum of the total of that factura. Then here I'm gonna type equal. Then here I'm gonna do calculate. Calculate is a function index. I'm gonna open parentheses, and now I can put an expression here. Okay. Then I'm gonna do calculate, and in the expression is gonna be sum. I'm gonna open parentheses. I'm gonna type order details. Then I'm gonna type subtotal here, double click, and I'm gonna close parentheses twice. I'm gonna click enter. Then this is a calculated column that is computing. I'm gonna change the name with right click, rename. I'm gonna put total sale, okay, by order. Okay, then this one, if you see, is a calculated column that I'm using a function that is called calculate, and I am doing a sum. Then since the orders table is related to order details table, then automatically by saying calculate, if PowerPivot understands the relationship of the database model, then it goes to the order details and then do the sum of all the records. Okay, then, but this is a more sophisticated calculated column that I just wanted to show you in this video. Okay.